I think the inauguration chart has a lot to say about that.
So we can say he's not gonna die in office, that's good.
I don't think so.
You think he'll do 8 years? Too early to tell, or?
He like brought in.
It's very possible because
a lot
that
of people
Venus
are
changing
gonna
signs the way it is,
see the opposite
would indicate
of what he's, you know,
a longer period.
and actually help
but he
us
may not want
go
to.
in the right
He may
direction, not
just
deliberately.
absolutely
but
hate. This is the inauguration chart. What's the one thing that stands out more than anything else in this chart? Where's the guardian angel?
oh, you
Come on, he's got to follow that path. Without the guardian angel, there's no path to follow. He is a Saturn guardian angel. So here we know what he's going to do in his own personal life with that. He's going to build an empire. But what does the inauguration chart say about the guardian angel of this chart?
9th house? No, 8th house.
Pretty much. Is not Mars guardian angel of this chart? It's 24 degrees, not quite 24:30, but 21 degrees. It's in the sign of Pisces. Mars likes Pisces because it likes water signs. It's its triplicity. So the triplicity of Mars being the guardian angel is under the rulership of what two planets?
Jupiter and Neptune.
Jupiter and Venus.
And Venus.
Yeah, because Venus is exalted by this, and Venus is in its own sign. So who's the more powerful?
What sign is it?
Venus. Venus is 17 degrees Pisces.
Why Mars is a guardian angel?
Because it's closest to the 24:30 mark in a chart. When we look at your chart, whatever planet is closest to 24 degrees 30 minutes will be your guardian angel tropically. Because that's the highest planet that you follow. The people that he will meet who will discern a lot of details for this guy. And where does the old Mercury go? Right up here into the Capricorn again. And therein lies who's doing what.
He's Venus, right, for the chart when he's elected, or using him as the 10th being elected? If this is
Well,
inauguration.
this is the electorate. This is
Right.
where he's sworn in.
he's
So this
the
is really the USA chart. It's about the USA and his leadership quality as Capricorn Aquarius. That's what we're looking at more than anything else. Okay, so that's our interest. But the guardian angel is going to tell us a lot. Look what he's inheriting.
And it's square
This is
Uranus.
and this is a nice square to Uranus. Actually, Uranus is already by, but it's still there. But this is all about foreign policies, foreign problems, and they are intense. And he's going to be made more aware of that, isn't he? So this is why he's getting the people who are coming in under his.
Is there going to be sudden changes from unknown places that are in conflict?
No, this is already passed. This is 20,
Okay.
and see, this is 17, so it's already gone. If it goes retrograde, the only thing retrograde is the sun. Okay. All right. So here we have the sun's in the 10th house, and that's saying a lot about what the 5th house is demanding from him. So we're talking in a way, what we're usually talking about, the hopeful process of that 5th house Leo, because Leo is about fun, happiness, and having a good time. So this is what this is about. So this is all the happy stuff, all the happy shit that's going on is the 5th house, which is that Leo point. And that's up here. So there's a lot of hope out of this position that what's going on. There's a lot of hope. The fact that Venus and Mars really are amplifying the chart as much as they are is kind of impressive to me. Mars has just gone by Saturn, so I would think just before he's sworn in a week or so before, that process of Mars squaring Saturn here, something happens. So when he steps in, he's going to demand immediate attention. So the day he puts his ass on the seat, he'll be signing some papers. And that's where that'll probably be going. So there'll be a lot of that. But the fact that Pisces is strong here, and the fact that Venus is exalted so strongly here, and it rules this first house, there's a lot of hope of a Venusian process for this guy. There's a lot of hope that this guy is going to be like taking care of business for the people. He's already saved 1,000 jobs from someplace.
But you also got Saturn squaring Mars.
Yeah. No, Saturn can't do it. Mars is already past the square. Remember, the faster moving planet does the activity. So Saturn is slower than Mars. So Mars is, that's why I said, about just before he is sworn in, Mars will have squared that, will be in square to that Saturn, and there probably will be an incident of coincidence that he needs to address almost instantly. Something will have to be done fast, and this is probably what that's about, right there.
Would you also use, besides just a regular horary, would you also use this chart if you had a specific question, like if you were in the real estate business and wanted to know how real estate would be under his presidency? Would you do that? I know that it's the moon and it doesn't like it, so not very well.
Yeah, well, he's got real estate people coming in, and I don't know. Sometimes when you see a negative planet, it doesn't mean that the situation is. It means that it's what a problem might be.
Right.
If housing is a problem in this country, I wonder if it is, it may be addressed.
I see.
See, because of the fact here that the people are first in this chart. They're really high end with all that stuff, with all that strong.
Is Saturn in this chart?
So out of the process, you see that square to Saturn, he is going to have to make a declaration to his allies. 11th house. Who are we friends with and why? See, he's got to do this. He's got to make that. And there's that Neptune hovering, and everyone's going, oh shit, I wonder if. But no, we know if. So we're looking at this square to Saturn, saying that he's got to make a declaration. He's going to ask the United Nations to pay their share. They're already, did you know the EU is starting to arm? It's starting to develop its arms. So this is part and parcel of it. So he may have that crisis to take a look at. Notice though that the Venus is nice with Pluto. It's a nice sextile with Pluto, bringing in again that first house with Pluto. I use outer planets as fixed stars when I use them. They don't rule a sign. So, as the circumstances, we can see that. But I like the Jupiter here. I like the Jupiter, again, in mutual reception, like when he went in. I have a nice mutual reception, and here's that sixth house again being activated in a positive way. So this suggests welfare. God knows there are enough people in the military that are homeless, and pardon your French, if you heard that wrong. And so that needs to be corrected. I mean, that's something we really need to correct. And this could be the devastated moon in the chart. It could, because it rules the fourth house as a homeland, you know, of where we live and who we are as a people. That's where it is. And that moon is wrecked. Because it's wrecked, and in the sixth house too, it's got a double detrimental vibration to it. It's in its detriment, and it's also in the sixth house, sick. So this would tell me sick people. This would tell me that he may start looking at that. And I'm sure the generals are going to have something to say about take care of our boys, because that's really their number one priority a lot. So we may see a huge reform in that situation. Homeless as well, because that could also mean homeless. So although it's a negative moon, it doesn't mean that he's negative. It means that the situation that needs to be fixed. What do we need to address? And this is really the key. How do you address negativity? How do you address it to a more positive way to go? Well, it's under Mars. And where's Mars? The guardian angel. And Pisces is under Venus exaltation. So this is suggesting aid and succor. So it suggests there's going to be some positive changes in there. When you look at Trump's chart, his sun is in Gemini, right? Dum, dum, dum. So here we have a nice situation where all of his planets are in that area, and of course his Mars is in Leo. So here we have that running. But this process, the inauguration isn't a bad one.
What about immigration? That would be the 9th house.
That would be the 9th house, and that's what this is about. And I think that's where that square to Venus is going to come in handy when it gets there.
He won't be able to.
A sextile to Venus. These two will sextile. So in 28 degrees or so, they're going to. I think he'll settle that too. I think that'll be settled too. How, I don't know. But it doesn't look like it's that negative.
You think he'll build a wall, like he says?
If it is, it'll be a very weak one.
I've never seen you put the North Node in for anything like this. So if you're putting the North Node in, this is where he's going with. So it's the type of people that he's going to be meeting are
Very,
with communication
very
with
knowledgeable
people
and top in their field and are logical as hell.
and about other
Why?
people's money.
We're exalting Venus here, and that exaltation falls into Saturn's Capricorn. That's a pretty good sign.
Why are we exalting Venus? We were exalting Mercury.
Because this right here is in the sign of Virgo.
Virgo.
Anything Virgo exalts Mercury.
You said Venus. That's why I got confused.
No, that's what Mercury, it pointed to Mercury.
I thought you said because it exalts Venus.
No, that here.
Yeah, no, I know that's exalting Venus.
But
I didn't
this
understand what you were saying
exalts
with that.
Mercury.
Gotcha.
So there again is the meetings of people who are brilliant, for sure. The thing is that, Donald does not forgive easy, so it's going to be interesting to see how these squares work out down the road. But they seem to be okay. They seem to be losing ground. Venus is nice and warm approach to Pluto isn't bad. I like Mars here. It's in a very good place. 11th house, not too bad. He will absolutely tell who his allies are and why he likes them and where he likes them and when he likes them and how he'll do it. So a lot of that's going to happen.
What is the reach of this chart? Like as in time, because it's his entire
What's the reach of a
presidency?
birth chart?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
this is the
presidency.
lifetime of his presidency.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I see interesting more than anything else. Did you know where Obama's Jupiter is?
At 0 Aquarius.
It's 0 Aquarius.
And he has midheaven here. He's gonna bring Obama to some kind
And
of.
that's where the sun.
I don't know what he's going to do with him, but I have a feeling he's got something in the back of his
Yeah,
head.
I think so.
And with Hillary, I have a feeling there's something gelling back here. But what happens in 2020?
Another election.
Jupiter and Saturn will become a conjoined entity once again. And when it does, it will be conjoined this inaugural sun and Obama's Jupiter. I would not be surprised if we don't name Obama the second father of this country. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised if we don't, actually. Because that strong conjunction on that Jupiter says a lot. Says a lot. And
What does that mean?
he's a pretty much, well, it's a 20-year cycle. And the ancient astrologers always followed that conjunction as the most meaningful point in time. And they started everything and ended everything on that conjunction. Matter of fact, 7 BC, we're still talking about it. Matter of fact, we're going to celebrate it in 24 days. That's where that came from. It's a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. Jesus Christ and, well, Thomas Nast came up with this in the 1850s for Santa Claus, but it's still here. Right? So we're still playing with this. So that's what this Jupiter-Saturn is all about. It starts the next year. That's why I like 1768 as the birth of this nation, because it's a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in March or May.
Do you have to look at the fact that his 12th house, where he'd shoot himself in the foot, and Uranus is there, is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter's going to have Pluto squaring it in the 6th house? Would that bring some kind of more war?
It could. The process is that, again, Jupiter is the faster moving between the two. So it's already past 17. Once
Oh, I see what you're saying,
once
yeah.
the aspect is passed, it's over by 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So here you got, this is already passed.
I'm thinking about how it's.
This opposition between Venus and Jupiter has something to say, Venus and here, that has something to say. The opposition is already over with that area, so that's what these are past things. These are things he's stepping into. And if you look at the outer planet, and shit, the outer planets are not a happy group. They create disruption. I mean, So, when was the atom bomb drop with Pluto coming on board? So these are outer planets are very destructive. That's why I rarely use them in natal charts, because we don't suffer that kind of destruction unless, somebody gets behind the wheel of our car and drives us off a cliff. That will be a Pluto experience. The other one is you step out of your car at 11:37 p.m. and start walking down this dark alley and you're robbed at gunpoint. That's a Pluto experience.
But that's only late.
These are Pluto experiences. They're not fun. They're a Mars, Jupiter, Saturn situation. Uranus is the same thing. It's an exciting time, but it's subdued because it's in a cadent house. See, the only thing we're really looking at in a big way is that sun is heavy. It's in the one house that says it has the most power. So here nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. We have a couple of succeeding houses that will eventually move into place over the course of time, but